Every day, people all around the world make medical decisions they never expected to face. Decisions about life, about comfort, about dignity. And often, those choices aren't even made by the person they affect. We get it. No one wants to talk about death. It's uncomfortable. It's emotional. And for many of us, it feels like planning for the end is like inviting it in. But what if we told you that talking about it doesn't bring death closer, it brings peace closer? Welcome to this video on end-of-life care. Whether you're a caregiver, a health professional, a concerned family member, or someone who just wants to understand, we invite you to stay with us. Because in the next few minutes, we'll explore why end-of-life care matters more than most people realize. What options, rights, and support systems exist but often go unnoticed? Shh! And how you can start the conversation that could change everything. This isn't just about death. It's about living well, all the way to the end. Let's be honest, most of us aren't planning for the end. In a recent survey, over half of adults said they hadn't talked to their loved ones about what they'd want if they were seriously ill or unable to speak for themselves. Why? I don't want to burden my family. I'm healthy. I don't need to think about this yet. I don't know where to start. Talking about it feels morbid. When we avoid these conversations, here's what can happen. Families left in the dark, unsure of what their loved one would have wanted. Medical treatments that prolong suffering rather than preserve dignity. Legal and emotional chaos at the worst possible moment. Caregivers dealing with guilt, conflict, or burnout. And yet, with just a little planning, much of this pain can be avoided. End-of-life care is not just about the moment someone dies. It's about the quality of life in the final stage of living. It includes palliative care, comfort-focused care at any stage of a serious illness. Hospice care, holistic support when a cure is no longer the goal. Advanced care planning, making decisions now for a time when you may not be able to. Emotional, spiritual, and family support. These services are designed not to hasten death, but to ease the journey, to honor each person's values, needs, and wishes. Did you know? You can receive palliative care while still undergoing treatment. Hospice is not a place, it's a type of care, and it can happen at home. Advanced directives and living wills are legally binding in many countries and states. People who receive end-of-life care often live longer and experience better quality of life than those who receive aggressive treatments. So why don't more people know this? Because we don't talk about it enough. We know starting the conversation is the hardest part. You might feel afraid of upsetting your loved ones or unsure of the right words. But here's the truth. Talking now is a gift to your future self and to the people you care about. One of the most common myths is that advanced care planning is only relevant for older adults or individuals with chronic illness. However, sudden medical incapacity affects all age groups. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC 2020, reports that injuries are the leading cause of death for people aged 1 to 44 in the United States. Accidents, strokes, and mental health crises can render young, otherwise healthy people unable to make medical decisions. For instance, a case study from Sudore notes that among a cohort of young trauma patients in a San Francisco hospital, more than 20% required surrogate decision-making, but only 4% had any form of advanced directive or healthcare proxy on file. Advanced directives are not about predicting death, they are about preparing for unpredictability. Public health campaigns such as the Conversation Project and Prepare for Your Care advocate that all adults over 18 complete basic directives. This includes naming a healthcare proxy and outlining preferences in broad terms. Many believe that if they become incapacitated, close family members like a spouse or adult child automatically have the legal authority to make medical decisions. But in practice, the decision maker is determined by state laws, which vary significantly. Some states follow strict surrogacy hierarchies, which can exclude long-term partners or give preference to estranged relatives. A 2009 study in Journal of Palliative Medicine revealed that nearly 20% of end-of-life cases involve disputes among family members regarding who had decision-making authority, particularly in the absence of documented proxies. Designating a healthcare agent through an advance directive overrides state default laws and prevents legal ambiguity. Use legally recognized forms, such as the 5 wishes or state-specific durable power of attorney for healthcare. Ensure the proxy understands your values and is willing to act on them. While most people think of advance directives as limited to resuscitation or intubation, they can include emotional, spiritual, and cultural considerations as well. According to a qualitative study by Fried and his colleagues, 2009, patients often wish to incorporate non-medical values such as the desire to die at home, have particular religious rites performed, or limit visitors to specific people. Yet these are rarely documented unless explicitly encouraged. In one documented case from a hospice center in Chicago, a patient's advance directive included a request for gospel music and a final family gathering. Honoring these preferences brought peace to both the patient and family. Most advance directive templates now include optional sections for personal values or meaningful moments. Encourage people to use values history forms, which prompt users to describe what matters most to them, beyond the medical. But here's the truth. Talking now is a gift to your future self and to the people you care about. Here's how to begin. Reflect on your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to me if I became seriously ill? What makes life worth living for me? Are there treatments I would want or not want? Choose a decision maker. Who do you trust to speak for you if you can't? This person, often called a health proxy, should know your wishes clearly. Put it in writing. Documents like advance directives, living wills, and DNR do not resuscitate orders, allow you to legally express your preferences. Talk with your healthcare provider. Your doctor or social worker can guide you through the medical options and help you complete the necessary forms. Involve your family early. This is not a one-time conversation. It's an ongoing dialogue. The sooner you start, the better. I was terrified to talk to my dad about his care, but when we finally did, he said he'd been waiting for me to bring it up. She passed away peacefully, just like she wanted, in her room with her music playing. We had no regrets. I did my living will after my cancer diagnosis. It gave me back a sense of control. Let's clear up some common myths. Myth 1. Planning for death makes it happen sooner. Truth. There is no evidence to support this. Planning allows for peace of mind and better care. Myth 2. Hospice means giving up. Truth. Hospice means focusing on quality of life, not on surrender. Myth 3. It's too early to talk about this. Truth. The best time to plan is before a crisis hits. Myth 4. I'm too young for this. Truth. Anyone over 18 can and should consider advanced care planning. End-of-life care isn't about death. It's about honoring life, even its final chapter. It's about making sure your voice is heard. It's about relieving the burden from your loved ones. It's about choosing dignity, comfort, and peace. We all deserve that. So what can you do today? Download a free advance directive form from your state or country's website. Talk to your loved ones. Even just one conversation is a start. Ask your doctor about palliative and hospice options. Learn about your legal rights and medical options.
You know, when we talk about death, and we don't do it often, it's usually in hushed tones behind closed doors. But if you've ever had a heartfelt conversation with someone facing a serious illness, you'll likely hear a quiet but powerful wish. I want to die at home. It's not just sentiment. It's about comfort, control, and meaning. Let's think about it. Home is where you're surrounded by your memories, photos on the wall, familiar smells from the kitchen, the spot where your pet curls up. Dying in a hospital, by contrast, often means fluorescent lights, beeping monitors, and people in scrubs rushing around. That's not the environment most of us dream of for our final moments. Then there's the emotional side. At home, you're not limited by visiting hours. You can have your grandchildren in the room, your favorite music playing, and your dog at your feet. You can even laugh, cry, or pray with loved ones without interruption. That intimacy, that closeness, it matters. Some people choose home because they want to feel in control. In a hospital, decisions can feel rushed or clinical. But at home, many feel more empowered to say, "No, I don't want more tests. I just want peace. I just want to be with my family." It's a form of autonomy, one last expression of agency. There's also a practical layer. Research shows that people who die at home often receive care that's more aligned with their wishes. A 2016 study in JAMA found that those with clear advanced directives and hospice care were more likely to die at home and less likely to experience unnecessary interventions. Of course, this choice isn't simple. Not everyone has the resources, support, or health coverage to make dying at home possible. Caregiving can be physically and emotionally exhausting for families. And sometimes, symptoms or emergencies require a return to the hospital. But the underlying reason so many people want to die at home? It's simple. We want to spend our final moments in the place that feels most human. Not clinical, not institutional, just real, personal, and full of love. The other evening, as we were cleaning up after dinner, I found myself thinking about something important I hadn't said out loud yet. I turned to my partner and said, "Hey, can we talk for a minute? Nothing's wrong, but there's something on my mind." I've been thinking about making an advance directive, just in case something ever happened and I couldn't speak for myself. At first, they looked a little surprised. I smiled and reassured them, "Yes, I'm totally fine. This isn't about expecting anything bad. It's just that I want to be prepared. I've seen how hard it can be for families when something unexpected happens and no one knows what the person would have wanted." I explained that an advance directive isn't just a legal document. It's a way to give guidance, to make sure that my healthcare would align with my values, even if I couldn't speak them aloud. I told them I'd want to stay at home if that were possible, and I'd rather focus on comfort than undergo treatments that wouldn't help me recover. "I'd want you to be the one making decisions if I couldn't," I said quietly. It wasn't a long conversation, but it felt like a big one. And what made it easier was approaching it not from fear, but from love. In the end, we agreed to sit down together later that week and look at the forms. Just knowing we'd started the conversation lifted something heavy I didn't even realize I was carrying.
Share this video to start a conversation in your community. If you're a caregiver, advocate for the person you're supporting. If you're a healthcare provider, normalize these conversations early. If you're just watching out of curiosity, thank you. You're already breaking the silence.